Good evening, everyone. I am Anushka. I am doing BTech in Information Technology from RCCIIT. Today is our 6th day Participate to Innovate 2022 Business Fair. Now, I would like to call Mr. Shaptoshi বিশ্বাস, CEO of Novacle Technologies, to continue this program. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, as Anushka said, today is the sixth day of Participate to Innovate 2022 Business Fair. In this fair, we have invited entrepreneurs to build and showcase their products and services and a new age business solutions that they are providing to the entire world, entire universe, maybe. So today we have one such guest, Anushtup, who is who have some amazing stories to tell today, and I'm sure it would be an awesome evening again today as the last few days. So I request Anushtup to please come on stage with us and join us. Along with him, sorry, I would also request Ms. Doyle to please come on stage with us and participate the event. I would request Dr. Shadhan sir to also please come on stage and participate in our discussion with us. So today's discussion would be mainly about show how Anushtup's journey as an entrepreneur, his background in building a solution, a business.
Be seated.
Yeah, thank you. For us, for everyone.
Thank you so much for the introduction. My name is Anushtup Roy Choudhury. I have completed my BTech and MTech on biotechnology. Right now, I'm trying to build a travel-centric business from scratch, basically. From 2029, I started traveling in a very different way. Because right now, there are many people who travels, but my traveling style is a little bit different. From 2029, I started traveling solo. Although not exclusively, I also travel with my friends, but most of the time, I travel solo and I go to mountains, and recently I am making documentaries on the remote villages of the mountains, especially the villages which are vastly isolated from our modern worlds. They are on their cultures, their socio and economical structures, and their overall lifestyle, which are very different than ours. And in doing so, I have found many such villages, and I have stayed with many villagers just to experience their so-called nomadic life. And actually, my background is not video making and photography, as I have stated earlier. But I recently started doing documentary filmmaking. It's just one of my new endeavors. I just learned it from YouTube, and that's my main goal over here, that you don't always have to learn from, we always think that if you have to learn something, you have to go to some sort of institution. But right now we have so many platforms to learn from online, from YouTube and from other social platforms. So I mostly learn from YouTube and by trial and error. And on 2021, I went to Uttarakhand in a village called Osla, and I made a documentary about those people. Osla is a very interesting village because there is a temple completely made of wood. And that temple was originally made for Duryodhan, the deity from Mahabharata. So there is still actually the ongoing mystery that whether the people of Osla still worship Duryodhan or not. Because when I went to the village, they strictly deny that, no, we don't worship. But there are rumors. So I wanted to verify the rumors and to check the actual facts. So that's why I went to Osla. I stayed with the villagers for almost 1 month. And I learned many things, not only just about this mystery. I learned their lifestyle. I learned many valuable lessons. And that's one of the things which I wanted to share, that if we go to this kind of villages, it's not only about normal touristic works. Like we go to, like we Bengali people are known for traveling. So we go to Darjeeling, we go to here and there every time. And especially Puja is coming, so many people will be going outside of this state, or maybe even this state. But the problem is our normal way of traveling the country is not, like we don't learn much from it. Because we just go there, we just see all the things, we pay for the things, and we come back. But the way I travel, I always learn new things. Like just 1 month ago, I went to Himachal Pradesh, and that was a solo trek. I went to completely, not completely, but mostly virgin trail in Himachal Pradesh. It was very beautiful. There were no people around me. I was camping alone, just like in this place, and just behind me was a huge glacier lake, and I was there completely alone. And when I was returning from my trek, I met these people called shepherds. Shepherds are basically, they look after sheep and goats. And the valuable lesson I learned from this traveling experience was from the shepherds, that they are basically nomads, you can say. They live, like, they still they still make fire by using stones. Like they are this far back from our society. But their ideology and ethics are, I think, far more beyond than our ethics. Because like right now in Kolkata and in India as a whole, the thinking of donating the body after our demise is still catching on. It's still not that common. But over there, when I was staying with the shepherd, I stayed there for 1 night with the shepherd, and there was a bear attack. And I saw the bear. It was not very far. It was like from stage here to there. It was very near from me. And there were 3 shepherds. So they were trying to scare the bear away. And the bear was really huge. And the bear, unfortunately, killed a goat. We tried to save, like they tried to save, but unfortunately, it didn't survive because it had a very huge neck injury. So tomorrow morning, I was seeing that they were cutting the goats, the head, the fats, the meats, legs, everything. But they were not very happy about it. They were sad. So I asked that, why you are sad? So they were saying that because I raised every goats from their childhood. It almost like they are my children. So I am saying that if they are your children, then why you are not burying it? Why you are eating your child? So the thing they said that intrigued me, that is, they were saying that in this vast land, in these mountains, everything is scarce. Everything. Everything is very rare. You have to hunt for it. You have to find for it. So when if you bury a completely fresh goat, it's just a waste of that whole body. And not only that, they believe in souls and afterlives, even for the goats as well. So they were telling that if we just bury the animal, it will be an insult to its soul, because the goat was basically but I mean, the goat died for its whole friends. That's the thing. So basically, in a way, the goat saved all of its friends. So if we, it's just basically honoring the goat's soul. That's why they were not wasting any of the parts, and it's quite literal, because they were the meat we all eat, but they were saving the fats, the legs, the brains, everything, even the bones also, because everything has its purpose. The meat we were eating, the fats, they were making some sort of medicines from that, and they were making some sort of foods for the dogs from the bones. So everything they were like properly utilizing. They were not wasting anything, and it's their way of honoring the soul. So I think there is a very similarity between preserving the body, like donating the body after life over here, and the same, the goats thing. It's kind of same thing, because they don't want to waste the body. And the thing I learned that like even after our death, our whole body, there were many parts which we can harvest and use for any other patients, and we just bury or we burn them. So it's complete wastage of that whole body. So we should also do the same thing. That's another lesson I learned.
So good. Anushtup, you have such wide, experience that you have got. How did you come into this documentary that you referred to? Is there any such background in your family that people wanted to do something? No. So from biotechnology, 360 degrees shift you have done to documentary, really very good. And what is the motivation behind this?
Motivation, first of all, I would like to thank my mama, who is like my brother of my mother. He was in media. So when I was a child, I had a little bit interest in photography, doing photography. But it was until, I think it was 11th or 12th in my school, I started actually doing photography after buying the DSLR. Before, I had a small point-and-shoot camera. I did some photography, but after buying the DSLR, I started photography a bit professionally. But after traveling, after starting doing the trekking, I thought that trekking is such a wild thing. Like, you have to experience the actual raw wilderness, which you necessarily don't expect in normal tours, like a tour to Darjeeling or Delhi. But if you are going to mountains or jungles, I thought that I should capture all this raw beauty in its own glory.
So good.
So from there, I started doing astrophotography. Like that's my main thing. That's what I do, astrophotography. Like
still now you do that?
Yeah. Still now.
Means you were connected with Pinterest and others. Pinterest.
Yeah.
That is the astronomical and all astronomical
societies.
Society. Yes, that's it. Very good. What your friend has to tell about? Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Myself Doel De, and today I come with Anushtup just for this business fair meeting.
Sure.
I don't participate here. I just come with him.
Okay. Okay. Good.
And sir calls me calls my name.
Okay.
So
Got
that's
it.
why I'm here. And my background is totally different from him, because I complete my nursing course from NRS Medical College.
Okay.
And then I completed my MSc nursing from also medical college in pediatric nursing. So actually I am completely different with him, from him. But he is my friend. All of us, and we are from same locality.
Okay.
But
Where from you are?
Agurpara.
Agurpara, okay.
But we don't know each other before 1 year. We don't know. All one day I just follow my Facebook. I check my Facebook, and he post his some ছবি দিয়েছিল তো আমি বাংলাতেই বলছি
Speak in Bangla, no problem. No problem. No problem.
তার আগে ওর সঙ্গে আরো একটা ঘটনা ঘটেছিল ও কাকিমার বার্থডেতে ও আমাদের আগরপাড়া স্টেশনের কিছু বাচ্চাদের আর কি কিছু মানে খাবার কিছু পোশাক ডোনেট করতে চেয়েছিল তো আমি তখন বললাম আমি কি আপনার সাথে এই কাজটা করতে পারি বলছে হ্যাঁ শিওর ইউ শুড কাম তো ওটা ওটা হচ্ছে 2-3 বছর আগেকার কথা তারপরে আর কোনো যোগাযোগ নেই হঠাৎই ওরকম ছবি দেখে বা ওর এই নোম্যাডিক কাজকর্ম তা আমি বললাম হ্যাঁ আমারও তো একটা মনের মধ্যে সুপ্ত বাসনা যেটা সবারই থাকে মানে তোমরা সবাই হয়তো এই ব্যাপারটার সঙ্গে কানেক্ট করবে যে না আচ্ছা আমি যদি সত্যি যেতে পারতাম বাট আমার সেই রকম কোনো হয়তো মানে নেই আমার কাছে সোর্স নেই বা আমার বাড়ি থেকে ছাড়ে না মানে বেসিক্যালি মেয়েদের তোমরা তো মানে মেয়েদের বাবা মা তুই যাবি একা পাহাড়ে কেন মানে কি দরকার ফ্যামিলির সঙ্গে ফ্যামিলি ট্যুরে যাব তো অনুষ্টুপের ছবিটা দেখে আমার ভীষণ একটা মনে হলো না এই ছেলেটার সঙ্গে কথা বলি কথা বলতে 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 মানে ফ্রম দেন টুডে উই আর লাইক ব্রোসিস একদম একদম মানে ভাই বোনের মতো বেস্ট ফ্রেন্ড সব কিছু মানে বেস্ট ফ্রেন্ডের এই কম্পোজিশনটা এখন একদমই আর চলে না বাট ব্রোসিস একদম মানে সেই কারণেই আমি আজকে এসেছি বলছে না তুই চল চল আমার গিয়ে কিরকম একটা লাগবে কি বলবো কি করবো তুই থাকলে তোর দিকে তাকিয়ে মনে হবে যে না ঠিক আছে আমার সাথে কেউ একটা আছে সেই জন্যই আসা তো ব্যাপারটা যেটা এসছি যখন কিছু বলছি যখন তো আমি যেহেতু একটা মেডিকেল ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড থেকে এসছি আর এই পাহাড়ে ঘোরাফেরা টুকটাক আমিও করি তো ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে ওর থেকে তো ইন্সপায়ার আমি হই এরকম মানে ও যে কাজগুলো করে বা এত ছবি তোলা এরকম সোলো ক্যাম্পিং সোলো ট্রেকিং সব কিছু আর আরেকটা যেটা ব্যাপার সেটা হচ্ছে এই যে মেডিকেল ইস্যুস মানে আমি একটা মেয়ে হয়ে মেয়েদের একটা সেফটি এটা তো অবভিয়াসলি যে বাইরে গিয়ে কতটা চোখ কান খোলা রাখতে হয় একটা মেয়েকে সেফটি ইস্যু নিয়ে প্লাস মেডিকেল ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড একটা মেডিকেল অ্যাসপেক্টও রয়েছে যে মানে এটা হলে যেমন ওর এবারের মানে লাস্ট যে 1 মান্থ আগে ও যে হিমাচল প্রদেশ গেছিলো ওখানে মানে ওর ফেরার সময় একটা ও বলবে নিশ্চয়ই সেই ঘটনাটা ওর মানে নামার সময় একটা ভীষণ রকম খারাপ অভিজ্ঞতার সম্মুখীন হয়েছিল তো তখন যেমন আমাকে ফোন করে মানে ওখান থেকে যেটুকুই ফোনের টাওয়ার পাওয়া যাচ্ছিল দেখ আমার এরকম হাতে পায়ে কেটে গেছে মানে লাইফ থ্রেটেনিং একটা কন্ডিশনেও পড়েছিল মানে বেঁচে নাও ফিরতে পারতো এরকম একটা ব্যাপার হোপফুলি সেটা হয়নি আমরা নিশ্চয়ই কেউ চাইবো না সেটা কারোর সাথেই হোক মানে আমাদের 2 দিন আগে একজন বেঙ্গলি ট্রেকার মারা গেছেন এগুলো খুবই দুঃখজনক যাই হোক মানে এই যে ব্যাপারটা যে এটা হলে তুমি এটা করতে পারো মেডিকেল যে অ্যাসপেক্টগুলো সেগুলো এই ট্রেকিংয়ের সঙ্গে একটা জুড়ে যাওয়া এবং একটা মেয়ে হয়ে বা ওমেন সেফটি কিভাবে তুমি কোন কোন এজেন্সির সঙ্গে যোগাযোগ রাখতে পারো বা একটা এই মানে স্টেটের বাইরে গিয়ে হিমাচল প্রদেশ লাইক উত্তরাখণ্ড এই সমস্ত জায়গায় গিয়ে তুমি কিভাবে কাদের সাথে কতটা যোগাযোগ রাখলে তুমি নিজে সেফ থাকবে বা তুমি সেখান থেকে কোনো প্রবলেমে পড়লেও মানে জাস্ট আর কি বেঁচে ফিরে আসতে পারো নিজের বাড়িতে তো এই ব্যাপারগুলো আর ওর থেকে তো মানে অনেকটা ইন্সপায়ার আমি হই সব সময়
Okay, Anushtup, directly, yes, could you please explain, did you get any specific, training on trekking?
No, not till now.
And it also came out of your own interest?
Yeah.
Trekking?
Yeah, it's actually started when I was in my class 11. So there was a teacher, and today is Teacher's Day.
Yes.
Coincidence. So the teacher, his name was Shubhendu sir. So he inspired me a lot in this trekking. So I was talking with him about regarding this topic. When he comes to our class, he went on talking about trekking because he did so many treks. And when he told me about the story of camping just outside a river or a mountain.
Sure.
So it inspired me a lot. So since then, I was trying to do a trekking on my own. And on 2020, I did my first big scale trekking, because on 2018 I did a small trekking called Sandakphu. It's in our West Bengal. And after Sandakphu trek, I gained a little bit of confidence that okay, I can do it maybe. And on 2019, I went on a completely solo trip, and it was a photography expedition. And it was not actually planned solo. It was like I planned go with some of my friends, but they eventually cancelled. So, so unfortunately, I had to go solo. But thank God that they cancelled, because after cancelling, I had to went solo. But after going solo, I never went back. Like most of the time, I go solo not because I am unsocial or anything like that. I am not an introvert. I have a lot of friends, but sometimes if you go solo, you can find yourself. It's a very huge point, because so many people ask me that you are going solo, it's such a boring thing to do. But I always tell everyone, I was also telling her that you should go solo any place. Like you don't have to go to a trek, you just have to go to any place solo. Because even if you are going to Darjeeling, because Darjeeling, I am telling this place because it's a very common place for Bengali people. So if you go to Darjeeling just by yourself, you will discover a lot of abilities of yourself that you didn't know that you actually have. That's a huge thing. And if you go to mountains, that's also another huge leap, because whenever I go solo, like just before 1 month, I still remember I was camping just beside the lake, and it was very frosty, very chilly. It was almost like -4 degrees Celsius. I was completely alone over there. Completely. Like there were no people. And there were stars over my head. So many stars. I was clicking photos. But sometimes, like in astrophotography, sometimes you have to set up your camera and just sit back. The camera will take the pictures. So then I had a lot of time to just think about myself. And people say that it's boring, but actually it's not boring. When you are alone, you can think about yourself a lot, like in a very big capacity, which you cannot do in Calcutta, in your city. Like
Other than, making this documentary, how many documentaries you have made till now?
Till now, I have made 4 documentaries.
All are available in social media?
Yeah. I post all my documentaries in YouTube. I have a channel called Nomadic Spectacles.
Okay. Do you get any revenue out of that?
Right, not... Huh?
Yes. I am also one of your fans.
Oh, wow,
you may not know that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a big honor for me.
It's a discovery today that you are Anushtup. Actually, by name only we could follow you. That's why. Okay. You just speak about your experience of making documentary.
Okay.
How much time you do for the documentary, and what are the components of your documentary?
Yeah, we can play actually some. If
yes,
you guys
play it. No problem. Play it. It should be in that way only. That should be widely documented over here.
This was the place I was talking about. This is just a small trailer about my whole endeavor. Many footages are spliced from many of my trips. And this one is from my latest trip, just 1 month ago. This is Himachal. And continue. And this was from Himachal. Just this is one of my astrophotography shots, which I do usually. And that is another thing. Like in most of my cases, I go to the place, especially for the astrophotography shots. I plan my trips like that. Like whenever I go to a place, there is an app by which I can calculate the exact position of the Milky Way's timing and all. So I exactly go to the place where I will get the Milky Way in that proper spot, and I camped there and everything. I camped just over there. I just continue.
Yes, share your camping experience over there. What is the reaction or response of the local people? It's not working.
The local, in Himachal Pradesh, when I went there, there were no local people in the Himachal, and the area where I camped, because it was so isolated. The place were like it was around 60 kilometers from the Manali city, so it's very like far from city side. There was a small village called Shishu village, which is getting a little bit famous over the time. And here is some of my camping footage. And when I went to the Shishu village was quite nice. The people were very good and humble. And whenever I go to these sort of villages, I always find that the people are very different than our city people. Like I'm not trying to shame city people. Like I am from city also, but they are very generous and all. The way which are not, like there are some people in the city who are generous, but in village, like 99% people are very generous. They are willing to help. And the incident she was talking about, my friend Doyle, when I trekked to this place, when I was returning, there was another thing with shepherds, which I will be mentioning later. But now I'm talking about the incident and how the villagers, especially one guy, helped me a lot. When I was returning from my trek, a bad incident happened because of my own fault. So I slipped down in a deep canyon. It was around 8-storied tall, 8-storied building. I fell down, and it was not very fun experience, least to say. And almost like I am still healing from my scars. So you can see some of my scars. So, but when I fell down from the whole canyon, and there was a very fierce river just below. So when I was going down, I had to stop myself somehow, because I basically started and landslide. I was going down with the landslide. There were a lot of rocks falling over here and there, and a lot of like my meat chunks from my hand just fell away like that. And after falling down like half, 50%, I stopped myself with the use of a trek pole, my trekking pole, and my trekking pole had bent. It was so forceful. And when I got down, my hand was bleeding all completely. Like my two of my hands were completely red, and I had some scars in my belly also, my rib cage. But fortunately, none of my bones were broken. So, and there were no persons. And that's another thing. Like there are some downsides also of solo trekking. That's the risk factor, because you have to be extra careful. When the incident happened, there were no persons at all. So I had to trek for around 6 to 7 kilometers just to reach the nearest village, the Sishu. I was like, the bloods were dripping from my hands, but I was walking and walking and walking. Then another incident happened, which was my own phone got lost in this whole jumble. And I accepted that, okay, I lost my phone, what can I do? But when I reached the village, I told all of my stories to the homestay owner. And the homestay owner, his name was Rajiv ji. And that's what I'm trying to imply, that the village people are so humble that he listened to all of my story, and he said, okay, tomorrow we will go to the local hospital, and it's just a very small, it's not even a village, it's more like hamlet, a very small one. And the local hospital we got, it's they didn't have even tetanus, so it's such a isolated place. I got there, and the nurse were like, they were dressing my wounds, and she told me that you have to get a tetanus within 72 hours. So I thought, okay, then I had to go Manali after the next day. But when the guy, the Rajiv ji, heard that my phone also got lost, he constantly was saying that we should go to the fall site. I will find your phone. I said, no, it's very risky, you don't have to go. I already accepted that my phone is lost. Don't have to worry about it. He was insisting that no, I am feeling so bad that you came here to my place and such a bad incident happened, so I must go. But you should go with me because I don't know the fall site. That's why he was insisting me. So we again went to the fall site just after visiting the hospital. And after going to the place, I was having some traumatic experience because just like 24 hours ago, I fell down to this place. So luckily, after a lot of searching, he found my flask, my small steel flask. And when he found the flask, he was certain that, okay, my mobile has to somewhere be around here. So luckily, after some more searching, he suddenly shouted that, Dada party. I thought, okay, phone was found, but I thought that maybe the phone is just completely dead because after the rock falling. But surprisingly, the phone was completely in working condition, and the phone was the same phone. And I even didn't change the cover also. You can find the scratch marks in the back for the rocks. But surprisingly, my phone was not harmed at all. So that was the whole deal, that the villagers were so nice. He risked his own life. He came down to the canyon just to find my phone. The villagers are always very nice, always. Like when I went to Uttarakhand also, the villagers were very nice because for my documentary, I had to stay in the village for 10 days. But they were not letting me go because they were telling that you are now part of our family, please stay, please stay. So my stay was elongated to 20 days. Like I stayed almost double just for their humble, and they were so very, like they didn't even care that I was taking up a space, because feeding one additional person, especially who is from the city, it's tough for them. But because they are not used to that kind of situation, but they were so humble to me, and I was actually quite I was thinking that how should I repay them, because I cannot just pay them money, it's an insult to them. So how can I repay them? So what I did was I had a lot of extra camping stuffs with me, extra foods. Like whenever I do camping, I carry a lot of foods with me, like Maggi, noodles, medicines. So the extra stuffs I had, I just gave them away. And even before going the village, the Osla, I heard that there were a lot of medicine crises, because here the normal medicines are very common, like paracetamol, Pandy. These are so common medicine you can find in any medical shops. But over there, the people have better immunity system than us, that's true. But if they contract some sort of disease, like a common fever, they can die from that because it's so severe for them. That's why I brought a lot of paracetamols and some Pandy medicines, like the normal medicines for them, a lot of, like I bought from hospital medicine shops and I gave them away. They were also very happy.
I'm not sure whether that would be a good idea or not. I'm not just...
Which one?
Whether availability, non-availability of paracetamols is good or bad. I'm not going into that debate.
That is true. That is actually debatable, because that topic is still somewhat controversial. But over there, the people don't have anything, like anything.
Right. I truly understand your feeling. Yeah.
Just one thing. What are the foci? What are the foci, means main focuses of your documentary? If you can elaborate on that.
Actually my documentary has two. I make two type of documentaries. One is about my trekking, and second is about the village I stay in. So the trekking documentaries are meant for the people who love to trek and they want to learn something. And there are many people, they actually can trek. I have a lot of people, like they have some asthma problems, and many people are not young enough to go on a trek. So they just say that when I watch your videos, I feel like I am going to the place without even leaving my seat. So that's another thing. And by village documentary, my target is to bring out their culture to the modern society, which we don't know about. The shepherd I was talking about, their lifestyle was so unique. Many people doesn't know. Like in Discovery channels, we often see that there are so many tribals and all, but those are from other countries. But in India, there are not so many good documentaries about this type of mountain villages. So I want to bring them out in the public.
Do you consult any literature over there, Anushtup? Because there are so many literature telling about the details, you know, of that. Even some foreigners who settled over there, okay, other than our Ruskin born, and you see the man-eater of Kumaun. So you can get a ready reference over there. How do you follow GPS or other method to track a particular village or the location, as you referred, with reference to your astronautical, you know, discovery?
Most of the time, I actually prepare beforehand. Before going to the place, I search in all the Google Maps. And there is another app which works without the internet. You have to download the map. And without the internet, it will work. But still, if you are going to these places, you have to memorize some of the places, like from the internet.
Your interest is only on the northern part of India or some other parts of India also?
No, right now I'm mostly focusing on the northern part, but I have went to the northeast part also, but I haven't made any documentary on those places. But I am trying to do that. North India is such a vast place, like the Uttarakhand and the Himachal Pradesh, two of the vast places. And there are so many unique communities over there. It will take a lot of time. I think it will take around 2 to 3 years at least, bare minimum.
Very good. What is your next plan?
Like as in trekking, the next...
Maybe trekking or documentary or some other thing. How could you use your biotechnology background over there? If you have any program for that.
Actually, yeah, I have a program. Like, I want to raise some sort of awareness in the village area, because those people doesn't have, like, no, I'm not, they have much more knowledge in like Ayurveda and all. They have a lot of knowledge about because they don't have the access to the normal medicine, so they use a lot of leaves and all. But still, I think there sometimes for some fast actions, you have to use a medicine rather than a leaf, because especially for the kids, you have to have a rapid action medicine. So that's why I want to raise some sort of awareness in the village, that what do's and don'ts about the medicines. And another thing which is recently happening, that's another problem, and a classic example of, if you solve a problem, another problem arises. The thing is, right now there are many trekkers who are, their mind is in the right place, their heart is in the right place. They went to the trekking and they share a lot of medicines. They donate a lot of medicines. But the problem is, many villagers, they take the wrong medicine. That's another issue. Suppose they have an issue of fever, so they are taking a medicine for completely another purpose. It will have a bad effect on the body, but they don't know how to read English and all. So I want to raise an awareness to the people so they can learn the medicines. They can at least learn the usage of the medicine.
Do you need to take government permission for doing your trekking and other documentary also?
No, not as such, but in certain places you just have to make a registration before entering the village, just before starting the trek, because in so many cases that the trekkers go missing and all. So if something happens...
Is there any such local bodies over there available for registering?
Yes.
Local.
The forest department, they
Okay.
generally, the forest department, sometimes
Okay.
the Gram Panchayat, they arrange the thing. But most of the time there are some sort of forest, government forest officials. They do the necessary things.
So good. So if you have anything.
How's the computer literacy over there? It's completely nothing. Computer. Right, exactly.
Computer literacy is completely zero. It's completely zero. Because they don't have access to normal network, like mobile network. They don't have mobile network.
Right.
When I was in those villages, I was completely cut out of the whole world. And that was another reason why I had to get back in the network, because like I love these places so much. I think like I will stay here for 1 month, 2 months. But in the city, my mom, my dad, they and my other friends, they get very worried and all. That's why, because of their worry, after a certain point of time, I had to return.
Are you the single child?
Yeah. That's
No.
why they get very worried.
Your parents are in job? Both of them?
No, my father is in job. My mother is housewife. And my father actually live outside of the India. So that's another point. My mother lives alone in my house and I have a dog. So they just both lives there. So my mother gets very worried. Previously...
Common response about your this love for trekking and love for doing documentary with the villagers?
Previously, they were not, especially my father was not that supportive, because my father was telling that it's very risky, it's that,
That's
it's this.
true.
And that's, I'm not denying the fact it's risky, but slowly I started to like understand him that it's not that risky, it's a better thing, it's something I can learn from it, and it's not like I'm not wasting my money, I'm putting my money in somewhere from which I can learn something and which I can share something with the whole world.
Very
and
good.
slowly, when my father saw that so many people are appreciating my work, it's getting some sort of recognition. Then
How can you help our RCCIITians?
I think the message I have for all the students is that first of all, I think that every student should go on a venture alone, because I think the student life is the crucial part of our whole life. When you are a student, you will develop all sort of things in your mind. Students go through many life phases, many sort of troubles, good thing, bad thing. I know that. So if you go to a solo traveling, you will self-discover yourself. Like the actor Pankaj Tripathi, he said in an interview that in your school life or in your college life, you should travel across the whole India using a sleeper class train. Because in sleeper class train, you will meet a lot of new people and lot of people who are middle class or lower class. Because if you travel in a higher, like upper class AC, then you will not get to the raw essence of the state. Suppose if I am going through, say, Haryana, so if I am going through a sleeper train, there will be a lot of local people who will get to our compartment. It always happens with me that I meet a local people across my trip, and I get to learn so many things which I cannot learn from books or normal methods of studying.
Very good. Very good.
That's what I'm, my thing. That
Anushtup, what is your say about Novacal? Because that is one enterprise of our alumni, that they are doing a lot of works for the improvement of RCCIITians and for improvement of the young entrepreneurs also. What is your say about Novacal?
I would like to state that Novacal, what Novacal is doing.
How you got connected to?
I got connected actually, one of my Facebook friend, Shubhankar Sarkar, he connected with me like 1 year ago for a trekking. He wanted to join with me, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But we were in touch. So suddenly he contacted me and we were again talking and talking. Then I came to know about this whole venture and I thought that this is a very good initiative because right now there are a lot of what do you say, lot of opportunities for the students because in like even 30 to 40 years ago the profession was very one dimensional, like parents thought that you have to be either engineer or doctor, otherwise your life is all hell. But right now there are so many opportunities you have, the students have, and so many things the students can learn from scratch even, and they can start their own business for over very unique things which was not possible even 10 years ago maybe. So right now we need some big institutions like Novacal which can support or which can be the backbone of these students, because starting a business, being an entrepreneur is not very easy thing. It's actually a very hard thing to do. There is a lot of pressure from society. They will discourage you. Most of the time they will discourage you. What are you doing? Do some jobs. They don't even consider this as a job. But if an entrepreneur stands on its own, that became the whole business. Like right now all the biggest business like Tata, Ambani, they started the business as an entrepreneur, right?
Very good.
That's the thing.
Very good.
So, and if you give me some permission, then I would just like to showcase some of my photos.
Do that.
Thank you.
You are free to do that.
And when you are going solo, that's another thing that you have to camp for yourself. Because right now, I am seeing a lot of people who are opting for these trek agencies. Like the trek agencies, what they do, which I do not like, is they do everything for you. That's what not trekking is. In trekking, you have to do everything for yourself. That should be like that. In normal touring, like if you are going to normal cities and all, then that agencies are doing everything. You are just sitting and watching everything. That is okay. But in trekking, if you are not doing everything by your own, you are not learning. So I think trekking is the whole point of trekking is that you are learning. It's a life lesson. It's not just a traveling experience. It's a life lesson. So whenever I go, I set up my own tent like that. But the downside of solo trekking is taking photos of yourself. I always had to take a lot of photos just to get the perfect one with the tripod. It's kind of tedious, but right now I'm quite habituated. This is another one from the same trek. And the waterfall, can you see over there in the background, the thin waterfall? From here, it's around what? 10 minutes of walk, and I went there to fill up my bottle, and I had to go through like a spike bush. It was very hard, but I camped there because to stay away from the wild animals. Because if you camp too close to the water source in this kind of green mountains, there is a fear of wild animals. But if there is a wild bush around you, then wild animals doesn't come near you. That's because in solo, that's another risk of wild animals. And when you are doing everything from scratch, when you are doing everything by yourself, there is a huge achievement you will feel. That the photo right now I'm showing, I started the fire after trying for almost 45 minutes because it was rainy season. It was August of 2021. It was very rainy and it was very humid. So all of the woods which I gathered from here and there, it was very wet. So starting the fire was very difficult task, very difficult. I was trying with some papers, lighters, everything. But it was not, it didn't happen. But after like 45 minutes, I started the fire for like 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, it went down. But still, the enjoyment which I get, the feeling of achievement, yeah, I did something, it's unparalleled. Normally...
Your astro photos are of 9?
Yeah. I am showcasing some of my astro photos. Just these are some of my camping photos from the same place. This is from Purulia.
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 You went Purulia also?
Yeah. It's a village called, what was the name? The village name was George Hatu. It's a very small village. I went there for also to do astrophotography. And this is in Uttarakhand. In this trip, I went with some of my friends. That's why there were 3 tents. Here is some of my astro shots. This is from my Uttarakhand trip on 2021, which I took. And the story about this picture is also very good. The villagers helped me a lot to take this picture because the setup was quite complicated. You have to set up your camera, the tripod and everything, and it was completely dark. So I was having some difficulties. So the villagers came, they didn't know anything about astrophotography, but they were saying that you are staying with me, you are our guest, so we will help you anyhow. So they were holding this and that. They helped me a lot to take this picture. And this was on the same trip when I camped. After my village trip, I camped over there in a place. It was around 14 kilometers from the village. And this is the whole Milky Way arc. It's from, I went there on December. It's a place called Ali Bugyal in Uttarakhand.
Do you analyze the astrophotos also?
Yeah, somewhat. Because I do, not in the level of the NASA, but I try to research some of the science behind it. And even when I was a little kid, like when I was in 7 or 8, whenever someone asked me that what do you want to be after growing up, I always state that I wanted to be an astronaut. But it didn't happen, of course. But somehow my dream and my passion connected, somehow. Because right now I am taking a lot of astrophotographs.
There was one global summit, TIES. I joined over there, last year. And there, the people are awestruck with the reference that astrophotos can be analyzed in such a level where you can ascertain the chronology of that particular matter. What I referred to, the reference of astronautical position in the Mahabharata, that tells us that which period it could be possible.
Exactly, yeah.
So
exactly.
that is the common interest of your Kurukshetra war in 1200 BC that has been lengthened to 12,000 BC. That way your astronautical photographs can help us. Very good. The new researches are going on in this field.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because even I always think that whenever we take an astrophotograph, it's like doing astrophotography is a form of time travel, I consider, because like in science fiction we always see in films that time traveling, going to the past. But in astrophotography, we are not going to there physically, but we are seeing the thing from the past. Like for an example, say Andromeda galaxy, which is far, many light years away from our Milky Way galaxy. So suppose if there is a very intelligent being who has the means or capacity of photograph the Earth from like the farthest zoom, like they can see the people, which is not basically possible, but I am just saying that if they can do that and if they can take the photo right now, they will be seeing dinosaurs. Because the light it will take to reach the Andromeda galaxy, it will take a lot of time. Like right now, we are humans, but they were seeing the prehistoric phase of the Earth. So right now, we are seeing a lot of stars or galaxies which are not even
existing right now.
Existing right now. They got
Exactly,
destroyed. There are a lot of nebulas. Like there is a very popular astronomical object which is called the pillars of creation. The pillars of creation, the pillars, like I haven't captured that because it's really hard to capture like with normal equipment. You have to have a lot of big equipments. But right now we can see the separate pillars, like the columns, but the columns are destroyed as the scientists are saying. But still we can see that. So in a way we are seeing the past. That's very interesting perspective which I always admire and cherish. There are a lot of things which are very interesting for astrophotography. Like right now in this picture, I saw the meteor right in front of me. It was it was not very far from here. The sky went green for a split second. And luckily I captured the moment because I was taking making a time lapse. So it was taking continuous shots like 1 second after 1 second. So luckily I captured the meteor. But unfortunately I missed the bottom, the head part of the meteor, but whatever, still I captured this. So I'm quite happy
So
with my
good.
results. And
Keep it up, Anushtup. You have enlightened us with your real life experience of astrophotos and your documentaries. Really, we are very, very thankful to you personally and to the team members. Doel ma'am came today. So keep it up. It would be helping you out. And try to think of if you can improve, our students with reference to who have the interest, with this astronaut, your solo trekking, and whatever you explained as documentary. I'm interested in the documentary part also, okay? So I don't know, you did translate from the local language, something
yeah.
over there. Okay, very good. Keep it up.
thank you so much.
Okay,
It was an honor.
handing over to sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
It was
Yeah,
from the
definitely.
last like from the previous month, this image. This was my dream shot, which I always wanted to take. And the last one, just before ending, this one. This is my favorite astrophotography till now. But I never thought that I would I would capture something like this, because I have seen a lot of professional photographers who were taking these kind of photos, but I never thought that I could do the same at some point of time. And that's also another suggestions to the students, because there are so many students who admire a certain person for something. So they always think that that person is doing so many things, I could never be able to achieve the level. But my suggestion will be that never stop learning. One day, if you follow your passion, if you love the thing you are doing, you will reach the place. You will reach the place one day.
Right, exactly. Right,
Thank you so much.
About this picture, I can say, I feel that it's a new something. It's a new signature. About the previous one, it feels like I have seen this picture. I mean, from when I was born. Right. Very
Thank you so
nice.
much.
So, Anushtup, as Shadan Babu said, if you can propose some business propositions about training students or providing this knowledge, sharing this knowledge with the rest of us in any ways, I mean, whether you want to create a workshop for them or provide, I don't know, but
No,
something.
That is actually what I am trying to do right now. The brand I am creating, Nomadic Spectacles, like the YouTube channel. Right now I am trying to create the Nomadic Spectacles as a brand. And fortunately, my own brother, Shoham, who joined me as a partner of this whole brand. So we both are doing, like, he is a computer engineer. So he is trying to look over the digital part, like the website and all. We are making the website right now as we speak. And we both are trying to bring something new to the table. And one of the main things about this whole Nomadic Spectacles is I will be giving workshops on astrophotography and on trekking, like how to do these stuffs, because there were so many persons who were telling me that how to learn astrophotography, because right now in Kolkata I am seeing that there is a new surge of people who are trying to do astrophotography, but they are not satisfied with their results. That's why I am trying to, like within December, I think in December my first workshop will be held on the place called Dhotre. It's in North Bengal. That's where my first workshop will be held. And after that, I will be doing constant workshops again and again and again. That's what my target is. Because I want to share my knowledge with every other person.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Yep. You're most welcome. I think we'll have a good collaborative journey forward.
Of course, of course, of course.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for coming here.
Thank you so much.
Just a minute.
Good evening. Myself Prerna Dhar from Novak Technologies. I would like to give you a coffee mug from us. Thank you, sir.
As a token of love, respect, and regards.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the honor.
Anushtup Babu.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
That will fill your life with cup of joy.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Nice.
Thank you so much.